March 12th.
Hey, and welcome to the Vergecast for the week of March 12th, 2012. I'm Josh Topolsky.
I'm Paul Miller.
I'm Nilay Patel.
I don't know why I was gesturing that.
Well, because he was there for you.
doing this.
He's Paul Miller now. Okay. Anyhow, we
I'm
are.
so sorry.
I wanted to be Paul Miller.
Paul Miller is here, and so is Nilay Patel, and we're back on the Vergecast, and it's a very exciting week in news. Before we get started, I'm excited to say Vergecast is this week brought to you by Sony, and their upcoming release of the Pirates and the Tablet S, which is out. The Tablet S is out, so it's not an upcoming release, but it is.
It's a thing.
But it's a fact that this is sponsored by Sony, the movie The Pirates and the Tablet S, all of which I love and use on a daily basis.
Pirates.
I use the Pirates on a daily basis, as previously discussed.
Right.
Anyhow, we have this is of course the Vergecast where we discuss the week in technology culture, and standard human culture.
Yeah. Standard human culture.
Standard human culture, and this was an interesting week in technology.
Well, I just got
don't
back.
you think?
I was hanging out in.
You were at
out of
you were at the South by Southwest Music and Information Festival.
I was.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's South
not
by
at all.
Southwest Interactive and then South by Southwest.
Yeah.
They should put an M. Like it should be
South by Southwest M.
yeah, I and M.
I'm pretty sure that
Music.
South by Southwest music is just South by Southwest.
Maybe. By the way, in case you're wondering,
You have a new iPad.
this is the new iPad sitting on the that's the new iPad right there. Can you see? Look at those viewing angles. By the way, look at that. That is fantastic. No, I mean you can basically
It's really
look.
nice.
And in
It
case
is.
you're wondering, this is one of the really cool,
Let's
still
compare.
totally relevant.
Let's compare thickness.
Not at all obsolete.
If you still have the first
iPads.
iPad, can we get that? Can you put that next to it? You want
Oh,
to
I just
sleep
unplugged
it,
it.
or you want
I'm
people to
sorry.
see what's
Don't
on?
It's just the topic.
Is there
This
any?
is really happening?
No. I don't. I feel like there's not that big of a difference in thickness. Are you actually going down to that? So,
Best
Look at
shot in
this.
television right there.
this reminds me of the first iPhone in so many ways.
By the way, for those of you listening to just the audio, the first iPad is indeed thicker than the new iPad.
Really?
Just to confirm, much thicker.
I'm not going to lie to you. Nilay is right about that.
Yeah.
For the first time ever. Anyhow, so this is so we should obviously the story of the week here is we just put up our iPad review last night.
Yeah.
We also put up our Apple TV review,
Yeah.
which people cared slightly less about. It was like 1,000 comments and then like 100 comments.
Right.
It was you really see that the cord cutting has not quite captured the hearts and minds
Poor Gene Munster.
of the world.
Well,
Poor put upon
Monster.
persecuted Gene Munster.
Gene Munster, who, if you don't know,
no,
Gene
let's only call him Munster.
Munster,
Mr.
aka
Munster.
Munster,
move on.
aka Gene Munster,
Hey, Ross.
is an analyst who has been predicting an Apple television set for
Since 2005.
400 years.
nigh on 10 years.
I mean, since I was like a baby.
Since
Like, he
Nilay,
was like 16 years old.
actually,
and I was like born.
when Nilay's parents were conceiving him in the act of intercourse,
That is so gross.
they were listening to a radio broadcast, an old-timey radio broadcast featuring Gene Munster predicting that Apple would create a television.
4 years before the Macintosh.
4 years before the Macintosh. 4 years before Apple was formed as a company. No, but anyhow, but there was no television. There was the Apple TV and there was the new
Let's
iPad.
talk about the Apple TV later. Let's talk about
Let's not talk about the Apple TV.
There's something else.
No, we can talk. No, we should talk about it. But yeah, let's talk about the new iPad. So I did my review. It is great. I mean, the thing is, like, I will say this: there's something liberating reviewing a product that you don't have a bunch of things to gripe about. I mean, I often review things and I'm like, I just wish this didn't suck the way it does suck. And I'm not. The only thing that I have to complain about here is that I actually feel, after using Windows 8, I really wish there was like a widgeting system here. Windows 8 has tiles, which basically function as widgets.
Right.
And they're cool because they're app launchers and widgets. And the two things that I really, Android and Windows 8 clearly doing like glanceable information, weather, news, email, messages, whatever. Super useful on a smaller screen like this. And they're also doing that app docking stuff where you can put like a strip of your mail or like Twitter or whatever in a third of the screen. I think that if those things were present here, it would just be like, I would literally almost have nothing to complain about. I mean, but it doesn't have this
That's
thing.
the missing point. Set
I just feel like I wish it was a little more robust of an OS. Like this OS is still relatively stripped down
right.
but it's also like there's also very little to complain about here.
I've been thinking about it.
How do I get a drink? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
I
think you had a beer brought to you, and I get
I
nothing.
would love a Diet Coke.
Guys, let me just put it in my ordering system. What would you?
By the way, if we're looking at this direction, it means we're looking at ourselves. In a brand new
every time we come into the studio, there's a new exciting.
We look amazing on this.
We do. We look really good.
You know what? I mean, I'm sorry, but the internet compression really does a lot.
Yeah.
And
we're not being compressed. This is HD.
That's a direct feed.
All right.
If this was 1080p on a brand new Apple TV,
let me explain what we're talking about. We now have a monitor in our studio where we can see what's going on the Vergecast. So we're now just distracted by looking at our beautiful faces.
Oh, it's just so good.
So good. Okay, but so we should.
I've been thinking about now, especially now that it has iPhoto, if how much I could use the iPad for like a real serious like day-to-day thing. And it's that basically two apps at once. The idea that you need to be able to like reference one thing while you're in another view.
I mean, how cool would it be able to like lock, let's say, if we use IRC for our chat, if you could lock IRC and just say like, I'm going to jump back out to the home page, whatever, but I want to keep IRC running when I'm switching apps or whatever.
Or mail. And we talked about this, like a DACA, an iPhone-style app. On one side.
I mean, that'd be amazing. And it seems like you should be able to do it.
Or just run 4 iPhone apps at once.
That would seems excessive, but it could be done.
Yeah. I think that stuff has to be coming.
But let's just talk about let me just get through the stuff that's good. The screen's amazing. I mean, I know everybody's been talking about this. And there were like a lot of people yesterday who. It's fine. There were a lot of journalists yesterday and a lot of commenters and just people on Twitter saying, "Here come the iPad reviews. Here's the things everyone's going to say," which they seemed a little bitter about it. But yeah, the screen looks really good. The LTE is really fast. Here, do you want to see a book, Pixel Density Enthusiast?
I want to see all sorts of things on that screen.
Here you go.
It's pretty amazing.
Kindle app,
I was playing with it earlier.
What if my mind
Novaka here?
just exploded?
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I chose not to help.
Here we go. Here's a little video of
good.
it. But you can see. I mean, it really is.
I can definitely see the pixels.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You're mad.
You're insane.
Yeah, I can see the pixels.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the iPad too. Whoops.
So disappointed in this right now.
What are you talking about?
Like I can see him. I can. It's all right. It's all right. It's good.
You know what? That's fine.
Oh my God!
Just hold out. Just hold out. Here, give it back. Just hold out to the iPad for.
I want to hold this.
In case you are just listening to the audio version, Paul is he's dissing the screen.
Paul's basically crying.
Paul's the only guy. He's the only person in the world who's looked at the screen and been disappointed.
I know. I can see. I can.
Don't look at the Kindle app.
I can see some pixels on the bottom of the O.
Try.
Why don't you look at a different? Maybe look at a web page.
I think that's just a.
I mean, whatever. You can see pixels.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It has pixels. They're
It's
just
not the
super
iPhone
tiny.
4. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I think that you're holding it for whatever.
I can hold it as close to myself as I want.
I actually think it looks better than the iPhone 4.
Johnny I said there's no right way or wrong way to hold it.
Except that way that puts the home button way far away from you. People are like, I was complaining. In the review, I complained about the placement of the headphone jack, which I still think is sort of goofy that it's up top when it should be down at the bottom. People are like, well, you can turn it around. It's like, yeah, but then the home button is way far away from you. Like, I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Why would I do that? I'm going to do this.
Then you're shooting the LTE rays directly into your body.
Yeah, I don't want the LTE rays going
straight
into my chest.
Yeah.
Chest section. I need this.
Yeah.
This is where a lot of my organs are.
This area.
This whole
From about here to here, I believe. This is really important.
I mean, this is filled. You don't know this, but filled with organs.
Yeah.
From like, this is right here all the way down.
Yeah, organs.
Organs.
I don't want to be like overly cocky, but if someone
You don't.
no,
But I can count these pixels right now.
Go ahead.
If someone said like, oh yeah, they built the Verge knowing that there would be
we were just talking about this.
a Retina display iPad coming out, I would kind of believe it.
So I want to. I do want to say something, and I also don't want to be cocky, but our site It's funny that you said that because I was just telling Nilay. I said, you know what looks great on the iPad is our website. It's really and on the iPad, on the new iPad, because you can just kind of look at the page, not zoomed in on anything.
Yeah.
You can read. It's like kind of looking like a newspaper, but like in an awesome, like an awesome
because
newspaper.
the multi columns and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You're not
but like a
panning
super
around.
awesome modern newspaper that
About interesting
it's like
things.
reinvented, like
not about
your
local news.
reinvented like what your preconceived notions of what journalism could be and what a
Local
newspaper
lady
could look
was
like.
Mugged.
But we do have a story about local ladies being mugged.
Yeah. Or homeless people at South by Southwest being used.
We
as
do have a
hotspots.
story about homeless people at South by Southwest. By the way, we've been on for I think about 15 minutes now,
We've said nothing.
and we have literally not talked about one
We're
significant.
talking about the iPad.
We're like kind of just talking about things that are happening right
I've
now.
never seen it before.
That's true.
I don't get to go to fancy places like California and see new iPads.
I mean,
I'm just a regular guy.
all you have
Just
to
a
do,
regular
Salt
guy
of the earth.
living
Yeah.
my life.
John Carter
I
style.
walked into a Radio Shack today to ask them about pre-ordering the iPad.
Really?
Because I haven't pre-ordered it yet.
What's amazing is
really
that Paul
disappointed
works
it.
for The Verge,
Yeah.
and that he had to go into a Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very confused. And
Paul's
just
like
trying to
our
stay in
like,
touch with the regular guys.
real America.
you
Real
just said you
America.
had to go to a radio shack.
They would pay me $177 for a trade-in on my original iPad.
Are you gonna do it?
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
You might be able to get more on Amazon. Anyhow, so the review of the iPad, it's a very good product. It's a very solid product. I don't. My complaints are minimal. I mean, it's if you're thinking about getting a tablet,
It's running a little hot.
it gets a little warm on LT when you're just running LT. I mentioned that in the review.
Yeah.
Or
So there's a couple things. One, I think it's if you're thinking about getting one,
back in here.
I think we found out today. Was it today? It was today or yesterday that the apps, the Retina Display apps, are huge.
Take up more space.
They're like five times
I didn't
the
actually.
size.
I didn't actually look into it. I mean, there were so many things to talk about that I didn't check the app sizes. Let's look at some right now. Actually, you have your original iPad. Let's see. Let's compare some app sizes while we're here.
Well,
But
they're just gonna have gotten bigger.
Yeah, it's the same file, right?
Did you update recently?
I mean, the whatever 5.1 or whatever.
Let's see.
But
Here
it's
we go.
th-
Usage.
They
Go
just
to
download.
usage.
It's like a universal binary.
Yeah, but
It's the same thing.
have you updated all? These aren't all updated for a Retina display. So I have like your Kindle. Did you update your Kindle app today?
No.
Okay, so look at your Kindle app.
Okay. What in settings?
Yeah, and under just general, and there's a usage.
the Kindle app doesn't have graphics.
Oh, we're gonna look at the storage. You mean?
Yeah.
Okay, my Kindle app is 26 megs.
Why aren't these in alphabetical order?
What is your Kindle app?
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
They're just they're in order of whatever.
There it is. You're at how many megs?
26.
This is 30.5.
Oh.
Yeah, but,
wow. Well, but you might
there's-
have some more books.
That's
on
a
yours
bad
than I
app
do.
to look at.
This isn't helpful.
No, it's
How about the remote app? Remote.
I don't have.
But
I don't have.
we can can I just read the story that we ran?
I
With
recently
the numbers in it.
wiped my
How
iPad.
Damn it, man! I want to know right
Do you have
now.
IA Writer?
No, I don't. I don't use that.
okay.
Do you have Beatmaker 2?
How about
guys are
Twitter?
killing
Oh,
me.
Twitter wasn't updated.
I don't have Twitter.
For example,
No,
Keynote was previously only 115,
See?
and now it's 327.
Which one?
Oh, interesting.
Keynote.
Okay.
Numbers has gone from 109 to 283.
But that's because they just added so many more features.
Pages has gone from 95 to 269, and iMovie has gone from 70 to 404, which makes sense because it's
But
like,
they
there's
added.
so many more graphics.
But they added.
and
Yeah, they
resi-
added a ton of graphics and trailer stuff.
But it's just something
music.
worth noting. Like if you're thinking about buying one, like I think the 16 is like
I wouldn't get. I mean,
It's out of the
I
question.
personally would. I always go for like either the next one up or top tier if you can. I mean, it depends. Like
I think
pretty
the 32 is like the sweet spot.
I
Still.
mean, if you get the
You guys are like, seriously? I don't know. I was recently at a Radio Shack where I was discussing purchase of a 16 gig, and now you're like making, don't even consider.
well, the
16
apps
gig.
are
I'm
so
not
much
saying don't
bigger.
consider-
If
I'm
the
not
apps
saying
are bigger and you're going to be
I'm not
using
saying
it
don't
more,
consider
You're
it.
a loser.
Well, let me.
I guess it's
well,
okay.
I think it's a
I guess
question.
you could
I think it's a
live.
question of how much
You
content.
just want to read books.
I think it's a
maybe.
question of how much content you think you're going to create on it, and how often you like. I have apps. I'm not like a big app downloader. I'm not like, I got to get this new thing. I get a new game every once in a while that I play one time and then never play again.
Right.
And like once in a while, I'll try out something, some new
There
app.
should be
that
a
everybody's
word
talking
for
about.
the game that you download, play one time, and never play again.
Like a special terminology.
Well, because it's like you never get that money back. There's no refunds. You can spend $1, $2, $10.
It's an impulse purchase, though, isn't
Well,
it?
it's an impulse purchase, but it's a really bad one that you never get very much out of.
What is that? What is happening out there?
There's a lot of thumping.
Are people doing gymnastics out here? Or something?
They said it's March Madness, so anything goes.
Anything goes.
No rules.
Murder is legal during March Madness. Murder is legal. Have you heard the news?
Yeah, they're just dropping people to the ground.
But you can't be taxed.
I would say I don't have a name for this thing, but I would say that like if you can afford it, getting the 32 gig is probably a smarter move.
Okay.
I think it's way more future proof.
I mean,
that eats my whole all the money I get from selling my original.
but
Don't we currently pay you to do your job?
Not
I'm very
enough.
confused.
Not enough.
do you need a little extra to get
You
the?
need a little bump,
Hey,
little iPad bump.
Nilay and Josh, could you each loan me $300 for no reason?
Do you need a loan of $300 from each one of us?
I'll be fine.
Don't you need a loan of
I don't wanna-
$315 from each one of us
There's
to get the?
this is
Oh
a
no,
very
that would be
complicated like moral decision of spending money because it's just I don't want to be just like I buy technology all the time.
But you
because
don't.
I
You have
work
the
in
original.
Because that's the thing. I have an iPad that already does plenty of things.
But you hate the pixels
This just
on
makes
it.
my eyes a little happier.
Well, you have bad eyes.
Maybe
It's true.
It's
Terrible.
as far as I see it, it's for medical reasons that you need to get the new iPad.
Right.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure our insurance will cover it.
All right.
Yeah, our insurance should cover that.
That's good to
for
know.
medical reasons because you have to have one for your job. Mm-hmm. At least that's what you'll claim on your taxes this
Right.
year. And your eyes, you can't get the lower resolution one because your eyes will fall out of your head.
That's right.
Anyhow, so any other, I mean, there's not much to say. It goes on sale tomorrow morning. It's
Yep.
a new iPad.
So I think
It's really good, and that's the. I mean,
But so let
are
me
you in
ask you this
chat with any
question.
questions from the group? I mean, I'm ready to feel.
I've got a question for
Yeah.
you. You think definitely Verizon 32?
Yes,
That's
yes,
the way to go.
Yes, I mean 32 or higher.
Yeah.
You can afford it. You got managing out of there, buddy.
I'm throwing the bills down.
that?
I've already
What's
bought like 5.
Have you?
I bought one of every SKU.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
You know, Chris Ziegler said
Unnecessary.
today the new conspicuous consumption will be using an LTE iPad as a hotspot for a second Wi-Fi.
Yeah. what were we talking about? Well, we ran a report last night that you can't do FaceTime calling with.
So this has gotten very
On
mysterious today.
What?
By the way.
It got mysterious.
So the deal is you can't call FaceTime over LTE. You're not allowed. It just won't let you do it. Pops
Yeah.
up the warning. You
Right.
gotta have Wi-Fi. If you tether it, you can. That picture's amazing.
there I
We
am.
ran a
There
bunch.
I'm frustrated that I cannot call.
If you
Nilay.
turn on the hotspot, then obviously you can like tether an iPhone to it and make a FaceTime call.
Yeah, because it thinks it's Wi-Fi.
It'll look great
But
because the
that-
LTE is really fast.
Yeah, but that's not.
So the question is, why is it restricted still? So we asked AT&T, we asked Verizon, we asked AT&T.
said AT&T.
Apple, AT&T, and Verizon.
And we asked AT&T.
We did.
It did.
AT&T has yet to answer us. It was like, why is there a restriction and who's behind it?
Right.
No answer from AT&T.
AT&T's networks cannot simply handle the iPad. Like, I think they're doing everything they can to get you to not use data on your
Right.
iPad. They're like, we're not only not offering a hotspot, but we promised a throttle
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Who knows what's going on?
AT&T's like, please God, do not. They're like, AT&T's network is in such a fragile state right now that they're actually encouraging people to not purchase products.
It's 4G, man.
I mean, literally, like, I feels like they've gone out of their way to make you buy a Verizon iPad.
Yeah.
They're like, you know
Yeah,
what?
no hotspot on AT&T at all.
AT&T's like, just look, maybe just wait, just hold off. Do you really need to upgrade right now?
Okay, So,
Go ahead. Sorry. It's gotten mysterious.
no, just radio silence from AT&T.
Yeah.
Apple says no comment.
Yep.
Verizon sends me an email that says, our other 4G tablets, you can voice chat on our other 4G
That's
tablets.
cool.
And it's like, well, that's
Oh,
great.
really? On the Zoom
So-
4G?
but the question is, well, why can't you video chat on the iPad?
Well,
on
I
Verizon?
Remember what was this app? There was an app like this a long time ago. Was it not Skype? Was it Sling Player? It was basically like it was working. Yeah, it was Sling. You could like do Sling Player on Windows Mobile, but they wouldn't let you do it on iPhone.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I just want to know where this problem exists.
Here's
is
what
it
I-
Apple's problem? Do they just not update the app? They not flip the switch?
here's
They're
my-
busy.
here's my
like
thought.
packing the pixels in.
Can I throw a thought?
Did
your way?
Verizon say no? Did Apple say no?
Can I jam a thought out to you?
Yeah.
Here's what I think. I think that this is going to be a controversial thought. I think that Verizon expects to sell a lot of iPads.
Yeah.
And since FaceTime is a very integrated native application that Apple makes and advertises, they expect that a lot of people will be using FaceTime, and I think that they have concerns
About the network, yeah.
Yes.
that their network,
Really
LTE or not,
rocking the boat here, Josh.
when tasked with delivering multiple hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of FaceTime conversations simultaneously, the British simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's just
Using your aluminium
it's like
iPad.
On the aluminium backed iPad.
What's the point? Why have we been building all this LTE? I totally agree. I'm pretty sure that's exactly the reason.
Well,
They're scared that they can't handle it.
Yeah.
It's like,
and with the Android tabs, they're like, well, there's only 10 people that are going to have these video
exactly.
chats.
The
So
same-
only
like,
three of them
thing
will
with-
boot
the
up
same thing with
Skype.
Sling Player, and I just, it's like.
But they let you do it now, and you can do it with
yeah,
Skype.
no, eventually,
I mean,
they
Skype
did.
is bigger than FaceTime.
but you
I
can
have to
do
imagine.
video chats on the iPad on LTE. We didn't test this on Skype. I mean,
believe
you can
so.
do it on 3G, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. It's not going to be like, sorry, you can do it on 3G, but not LTE. But I do think it's
this
because it's an
happens.
integrated application
when
and it's
When
advertised.
it becomes very easy to do when it's advertised. Same thing with tethering. You could tether lots of old smartphones and it was never a problem.
Right.
And once it got easy with the iPhone and Android, suddenly it was a
What I'll be
feature
doing
of
is
plan.
using this as an LTE hotspot and then doing FaceTime chats on my computer, which is tethered to the
Yeah.
hotspot.
which is
and,
insane.
and the whole
Or my phone.
And you'll just be holding up your middle finger the whole time.
That's
Yeah.
yes, and then taking a screenshot of that and emailing it
All right.
to Apple and Verizon.
Yeah.
Is that cool? I don't. I mean, I don't think it's a huge mystery, but it is annoying.
It's super annoying and it's super
So
lame.
why-
Especially
I also
on
don't think
iPad.
that many people
what
are
is
having.
the point of these networks?
I feel like are that many people really having these chats, these FaceTime chats?
Yes.
I mean, are they?
Everybody with kids. And they want to do it when they're on the road. When they're
America-
on the road connected
No,
to LTE.
America,
such a
is it
great selling
true?
point.
Are you FaceTiming? Are you putting your kids on FaceTime chats?
Yeah.
Call in now.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. But do we have call-in capabilities?
Collins is coming.
Huh? No one's listening to me. I'm speaking to the people in the control booth.
Potentially, they say.
America, think about calling, and we may give you a number. I want to hear from you. Are you FaceTiming with your children?
You know, I will
Or,
say
or
this.
are you FaceTiming because you have children?
I have heard.
And also, are your children on the FaceTime calls?
You know, I've heard from several people now that Apple, they were going to open source the FaceTime standard.
Yeah.
That Apple was ready to do it. That the paperwork was prepared, and they decided at the last minute.
Remember, they said they
promised
were going to
gonna do
open.
it.
They were going to
and
open
they
it up.
decided that it was such a competitive advantage they wouldn't give it to anyone else.
Yeah.
And they know that FaceTime is super secure, and it doesn't use your minutes, right?
That's right.
So they know that people are using FaceTime.
Maybe that's why Verizon doesn't and AT&T don't want to allow it.
Maybe.
But neither does Skype.
Yeah.
I-
Well,
it's
but
just-
FaceTime is like
making
direct
sense.
device-to-device community. Like, if you have an iPhone, I can call you on FaceTime.
What?
But like you don't have to have the Skype app running, right? Like,
Yeah, it can
calling
ring on
an
the
iPhone
device.
on Skype is like kind of a hit or miss proposition because I don't know if you have it running. If I call you on FaceTime and it's available, it'll just ring. Like a phone.
Skype can go
If
online.
I call you on Skype right now, your phone won't ring
But it's not on my phone.
because you have to run
But
it.
you have to log in.
No, but you have to run it all the time.
No, you don't.
Can't you set
No,
Skype to be
Skype-
like
Skype-
push notifications?
Yes, Skype can be pinged. You can say I'm online and close it, and it just keeps you online.
It eventually turns off. I promise you because I keep on trying.
You're
to
like,
do it.
I am walking around with Skype on.
People call me on Skype all the time, but it doesn't. It doesn't. work
America,
as well
we
as
want to hear
FaceTime.
from you. Is it true that Skype turns off after a period of time? Call in now. The number is below me on the screen.
Yeah.
It's so far below me that you can't see it.
Yeah.
Um,
Skype, Josh.
Yeah.
Skype me now.
These
America,
people-
we
these
want to
people
hear
are
from
all
you.
like-
Skype me now. Anyhow, okay, so anything else? Any other thoughts about the iPad? New iPad?
No, I mean,
I hate the name. Can I talk about the name?
It's bad.
I really hate the fact that I can't talk about it properly, and I don't know it's hard to search for.
Yeah.
It's like why can't I have a number?
I don't think you should. I think that's silly. I think it's great. And
I'm
it's
allowed
fine.
to think whatever
Can
I
we-
want.
Can we rewind just a bit?
Yes.
The LTE thing. I think this is gonna eventually, if the carriers keep this sort of thing up. I think it was one thing to say it with 3G. You could you know what? I understand that technology is about a decade old. It's a little hard,
Yeah.
know.
You think people are
it's
gonna
hard to
start
keep
seeing
up.
through the
But like
ruse.
you're advertising 4G as this sort of next generation experience where you can do all these awesome things. 4G as a brand is becoming very present because you have a bunch of networks now advertising the term 4G.
Yeah.
Like 4G is going to be one of the most well-known technologies. I don't know if I said this on the podcast or just told you in person, but a friend of mine had their iPhone upgrade to 4G now, and they were so excited they thought their iPhone was better and faster now. And so when you tell people 4G and then you don't allow them to have new experiences with it, people are going to be pissed.
Well, I think even beyond new experiences, I think when your message is, we are delivering, broadband speeds.
Right.
Yeah.
Like on broadband, I can have video calls.
Yeah.
So why all of a sudden can I not? And then even more confusing, why can I have video calls on Skype and not do them on FaceTime? And I do think it's I think they need to solve.
And I think there's going to be
a great reckoning.
Well, there's a great reckoning, and I think
I don't think it's going to be a great reckoning.
no, I do because look, it's faster than the cable internet in your house, right? The Verizon LTE is faster than your cable
An
internet.
incredible headache right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
You okay?
No.
You're just thinking about LTE.
You're just thinking about this BS
Why
situation.
Why
Sorry.
are they building it? Why are they building these networks if they don't want them to be used?
Well,
Or
you
if
gotta
they're-
let them
if they're-
finish building it.
If they're incapable,
not done yet.
They're incapable of making a network that is can handle this sort of traffic. Then just
Yeah.
Well, they're
just
lying
go
about
home.
that,
But I
by the
think,
way.
Just go home.
Well, but it takes time. Okay, it's a big country.
Look, not
it's
everybody.
a big country,
not
Paul.
everybody's really good at data. Not everybody
Yeah.
is good at pipes.
No,
So
what I'm
just-
saying is there's a whole country, like, there's a lot of people who don't have fast internet at home, right? Like,
Wow.
huge swaths of the country.
That is true.
And
So
when
tr-
they get
so
LTE
true.
access, it will replace their wireline phones, it will replace their broadband internet they're getting, it will replace the DSL, whatever it is.
This is real talk.
And then, but then you can't start screwing around with the internet. Then Verizon can't say we're throttling you, we're putting a data cap on you, because then it's your only internet connection, and it becomes the most important way to be connected to the world.
When they can say that.
It's kind of a godsend for
No, I mean,
for net
LTE is-
neutrality is because you're gonna get all these people.
Yeah,
Like you said,
like
they're going to get on this before it's totally locked down, and then once they really try to start locking it down, like,
Yeah.
hey,
Have
we
I
wanna-
told you this story
hey,
before?
How about we charge you extra for YouTube?
Like,
And people are going to be like,
No, like Becky's hometown is
what was that?
400.
They're like,
They're gonna sound like Beaker.
They're like Beaker.
No, look,
Interesting.
Becky's hometown is 450 people.
Yeah.
It does not have internet in it.
Oh, hold on. For those listening at
I
home,
keep talking. They have to know.
if you don't know, Becky is Nilay's fiance.
She's a very lovely
and
girl.
she comes from a small town in the Midwest called
Ohio, Illinois.
Ohio, Illinois.
Which continues to
here's how-
confuse my parents.
Here's how small the town was. They couldn't even get a name of their own. They had to use somebody else's.
Like, this is like Prairie Home Companion. This
kind of
like
is.
The whatchamacallit.
But no, I go there and I get questions from her aunts that are like, "We heard you could tether these droids." I'm like, "I don't." You're a church lady. What is going on?
Tether these droids. TetherTheseDroids.com. Great site.
Because
I
they don't-
visit it all the time for all my droid needs.
Because they don't want to use dial-up, which is their other option.
yeah.
And so, when LTE comes to that town, and there's a lot of those towns
They're gonna
throughout the
tether
Midwest,
So many droids.
dude, nonstop droid tethering.
I am.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know. It's good, but it's just hearing that question at Christmas, what? What words did you say,
Someone says, "Fix Paul's audio, please."
Paul? What's wrong with
Am
your
I not
audio?
talking into the mic or something?
You sound good to me.
What's wrong with my audio? Fix my audio. You know it.
Why? This is just.
That's so far away.
This is the worst radio experience that anyone.
What's
has ever had.
What's happening?
I'm
What's wrong with his audio?
There's a fan
we know?
directly on me, and I am so hot.
It's the fan.
Yeah,
The fan's making you hot.
it's echoing and
I don't
distant.
know.
I don't think Paul's mic is on.
Like I might pass out from heat. Is it on? Hello.
This is
Hello?
definitely one of our best.
Yeah,
one
this
of our,
is really off the rails
This
here.
is pro. I like it.
Can we cut this out, Trent? Remember Trent? Remember when it was just the three of us? At
It was
home?
just us
Each
sitting on
individually?
Skype and Trent.
Paul's mic is definitely.
Now we have. It is on. Now
Okay.
we have a group of 5
Check.
Trents in here.
These Trents are working hard, man.
I'm just trying to remember. Go ahead. Let's keep
Okay,
going.
Sorry.
I mean, I think the question really is how many hardworking, sober people does it take to equal the output of one Trent?
I think that's a diss.
Yeah.
You dissing?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I mean, Trent was doing it's post. Okay, Trent's a post guy.
Yeah.
He got it all after the fact. These guys have to deal with it. In real
I called
time.
them hardworking and sober.
Okay. Anyhow, let's move on. You have any other questions?
How do these
Let's talk
droids?
about the Apple TV for a minute, and then I want to get Ross in here before he has to go.
Yeah. We should have Ross come in and talk about South by Southwest a little bit. But really quickly, I want an alcoholic beverage of some type. I just want a beer.
Hey, it's Kyle.
Or
There's all kinds of action going on out there.
I just want a beer or a vodka drink. Kyle, can you help me? I just need some alcohol. And can you leave that open? Because it's really hot in here.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So extreme. I might pass out.
Okay.
That would be good.
That'd be good entertainment.
That would be good entertainment. I mean, I don't want you to pass out, but you have to admit we all have a good time.
Glad you're
Yeah.
rooting.
Let's
for
talk
me.
about the Apple TV.
Let's start with the Apple TV. So
You reviewed it.
new Apple TV, 1080p, new interface. That's the gist of it. That's the extent of it. Oh, and you can get your
No. So I have some deep things to say about this.
No, I'm just telling you. Like I'm telling
give
you.
me
He's
the
saying the
facts.
gist.
I'm saying like to the viewer and to the listener. Here's what you need to know about the new Apple TV. It does 1080p. It has a new interface.
Yep. That's what I
I
wanna
think an
talk
improved interface personally, and you can now see your movie purchases and rentals on it
Yeah.
that you've previously purchased or rented on another.
So the new interface, you can get it on the old Apple TV. So I've had it. For
Yes,
a while.
you can. There's literally the only new feature is 1080p
Yeah.
in terms of if you're an
And
you
the,
already.
and the cloud stuff is on the old one too. I just don't have any movies on the cloud.
Yeah, that's all there.
So
Wait, the cloud stuff is only on the new one?
no, it's there.
Right.
Here's something interesting.
Oh, yeah.
The cloud stuff is there even if you don't update.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Great.
Yeah.
It's like they just
It's funny,
turned
'cause,
on.
Like,
they said
I
they flipped the
definitely,
switch.
Well, I
I
think
definitely have like copies of movies that I bought 100 years ago around. Just 'cause,
Yeah.
like I
No, apparently
you better back this
Apparently,
up.
I bought the Village for some reason. I don't remember why. I think actually I do.
I have
I wanted to rent it.
Adventureland. I have like the first or second season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Why do you think you bought Adventureland? Can you tell me? Because it wasn't available to rent. You wanted
Was
to
it
watch
Kristen
it.
Stewart was that, right?
I'll give you 4 words.
Who's her name? Kristen
Jesse
Stewart.
Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
None of those were
cross
words.
out Jesse Eisenberg.
Not a single one of those were
Do
actual
you think
words.
Kristen
Names
Stewart's
are
always really
words.
mad?
I don't
Yeah,
think
they're
they
proper
are.
nouns. It's a type of word.
I think you're stretching the.
Well, come on, man.
You're stretching.
Schoolhouse Rock. Ever heard?
I think you're stretching the. I think you're stretching the definition of
Noun is
words.
a person, place, or
Oh
thing.
my God.
I mean, I know technically they're words.
If you met Kristen Stewart today, what would you do?
Say hi.
I'll tell you what Paul would do. He would say hi.
It could be soft.
Like, would
He'd
you
say
like-
hi.
Hi.
Would
He'd
you
like.
like make a move?
He'd say no. He'd say I want to hang out with you as a buddy,
as a good
So you'd be like-
platonic friend.
as a good
I'd like to be in
platonic
the friend
friend.
zone.
For at first,
You never get out of
See
the
where
friend
it
zone.
goes.
see where it goes. Take it naturally.
Yeah.
You'd
I
be
don't wanna
like,
rush
you'd be
things.
like, you'd be grinding on her within five
Oh
seconds.
God, at the discotheque, dude.
You would be
straight up.
before even greeting her with a regular greeting. You would begin a grind.
Why do you always look
right?
so mad?
Oh God, that's an animated GIF. That is an animated GIF waiting to happen. Anyhow, so
Just the idea of rolling up to
So,
Kristen
but I-
Stewart
yeah,
in a
the
discotheque
Village-
and be like, why do you always look so mad?
I
It
almost
makes
did
me
this
really
the other
happy.
night, by the way. Very annoying. I bought The Village because I wanted to watch it, and you couldn't rent it. You had to buy it,
Yeah.
and I bought it because that's how bad I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
And was it worth it? Was it worth the $14.99 I spent on it?
It's an impulse buy.
It was an
But
impulse
We
purchase.
still need a word for this. I think there's got to be a term.
How about a pulse?
It's like
cool.
it's
It's hip.
an impulse
Street.
buy that you regret and you definitely don't get the value out of, but you can't take back.
An impulse buy.
Well, people really don't like The Village in comments.
It wasn't. I
A
thought
lot,
it.
of, a lot of anger.
Not a
towards
surprise ending. Big surprise for Shyamalan. You know, it's like why don't you make a movie that doesn't have a surprise ending, and then people will be shocked. You know, that's the thing.
just sorta like-
If they're always expecting a surprise ending, you know, if it just ends and it's a regular
That's a
ending.
pretty good idea.
Crane's just like out here.
What?
Last Airbender. Nobody watched it.
You saw Last Airbender?
Spoiler, no surprise ending.
Spoiler alert, guys. There is no surprise
Well,
ending.
I mean, it's right in the first, and it's in the title.
the surprise is
Hey, it's
that.
Ross.
What is this?
Michael made it. Vodka/soda and a lemon.
Where did he get vodka? He said there wasn't any here. This is wonderful. I love you, Michael
We're
Shane.
just gonna wrap up Apple TV, and then
Yeah.
you should come back.
I gotta run.
You gotta.
Are you
leave?
kidding me?
Come, give me.
What do you got to do?
I want you
Please
here.
trade seats with me so I can leave this very, very
All right,
hot
sit
room.
down. Paul,
We'll
I
talk
love
about
you.
Apple. We'll
I
finish
don't-
this Apple TV
I don't care
conversation.
about television.
Okay.
I don't watch television. I read books.
Oh God.
Tip over deck.
Okay. Hold on.
There's a lot of
can we get
activity.
Paul a shirt? Can someone zazzle this right now? I don't watch television. I read books and knock over Diet Cokes. I feel like that's like I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum.
That's the exact.
I feel like
exact same thing.
that's like our new version of it. Anyhow, everybody, Ross Miller.
Ross. Oh, no,
is
Roscoe.
back, as you can see, tanned and toned after being in Austin, Texas, with Nilay Patel.
Because when you look at
Laura
me, you
June,
see
who was there? It was
muscles.
Nilay, Ross, Laura June, Thomas Houston,
Joe,
Billy
Billy
Flatley, Bill Disney. Not
amazing
not
Billy
Walt.com. Check it out.
Billy, how many airports did you fly through to get home? Billy and I were
Who
on the
else
same
was there?
flight.
Was it just Billy? Who am I
5.
missing? Who am I forgetting?
No, that was
I think
us.
that- yeah.
Krayshawn was there.
No. No, so Billy and I were on the same flight back, but Billy had to check a bag, and there's so many people at South by Southwest that to check a bag and get through security took over an hour and a half. So he missed his flight, and all the flights are.
I'm sorry, I'm just mesmerized by our.
All of the flights were
This is
sold
great.
out. So Billy had to fly to connections through 5 airports yesterday to get home.
Yeah.
Which
Really?
is insanity.
Shut up. No. You
Yeah.
had 5 connections?
It was Austin to Houston, Houston to
Atlanta.
Atlanta to
Baltimore.
and
Yeah, and
then
then
Baltimore to LaGuardia.
Are you kidding me? Is this for real? Dude, you need to take a day off. You should not be
And now
here.
he's like producing our podcast.
Why are you here? You need to... Billy, what are you doing tomorrow?
Shooting.
What's he shooting?
I've been with Nilay.
Sorry, you have the day off. You're not doing it, guys. Billy has the day off because of his 5 connections.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Sorry,
poor man.
I almost held your hand.
That's
I'm extremely
I can
glad
leave
you're
you
here.
guys if you want.
Okay, Paul. Sorry, Ross. Sorry, there was a Miller there. I looked up.
wow.
It's been a long freaking
Wow.
week.
You know, I make the same mistake all the
Burn.
time.
Okay, let's talk about South by Southwest.
Come on, Paul. Tell us
Give me-
about South by
get-
Southwest.
Tell me. Tell me.
Do you,
what
mind, do you care if I call you Paul for the remainder of this? I mean, your last names are the same. You're basically the same person. You both have a beard,
Do you read
luxurious
books?
beard. Do you read books and knock over Diet Cokes?
No,
South-
I am bizarro, Paul. I watch TV. I do not understand how books read. I can't read
How
words.
books read.
Books
I don't
read.
understand it. I never learned to read.
What's going on? What is happening on this Vergecast? All right, go ahead.
All right. Anyway, South by Southwest. How would you describe it, honestly?
South by Southwest is the clearest proof that civilization has no more ideas left.
Really? You
And
think?
that we're
It
all
was
Social,
doomed to
expand
die.
your social graph.
So bad.
Hey, dude, you highlighting?
So bad.
What is it? What is this highlight app? What's the story? You guys used it.
Yeah, no, Highlight is an app that is its core feature is draining your battery.
Could you give me a description of?
Yeah,
I'm a highlight user. What am I doing?
Oh, you're draining your battery.
You
that's about
know
it.
what you're doing? You're you know how people used to smoke? They used to smoke cigarettes. Like everyone would smoke.
Really want to know where this is coming from.
Just,
I like.
just watch.
You know how people used to.
You know how they
smoke.
used to smoke, and you would be somewhere, and you would go outside, and you'd like smoke a cigarette, and you'd like meet the people.
Oh, you'd be out there, or like when you're waiting in line in the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
You would
Alright.
meet. Kind
You
of
meet somebody because
strangers.
you're waiting in line. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. You're like, hey, bro, what's going
Highlight
on?
is
How's this line?
that for charging your phone battery. So you.
So you'd find an outlet,
Yeah,
and there'd
like
be another
everyone's
person
kind of,
there
like,
plugged into the
gathered around
outlet,
an outlet.
and you're like, "Why are you here?" And they're like, "Highlight ran my battery down."
Yeah. And
so
that's-
highlight is,
as far as I can
highlight
tell,
is
that's
a,
its function.
So highlight is a tool for creating social connections
By destroying
by
your phone
by
battery.
ruining the life
Yeah.
of your
It's
phone
a two-step
battery.
process. That's first part's highlight. The second part, of course, is the walking around FedEx girl that's covered in USB.
Yeah, and
plugs.
so South by Southwest is so ridiculous that FedEx had people there, mostly girls, wearing jackets full of batteries with USB ports, like positioned around their clothes.
Feminine hotspots.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she would say things like, "You can jack into me for 10 minutes."
Shut up. Shut up. No.
That's what she said.
They were scripted. They had to say you
no,
can
no,
jack
no,
into
they-
me.
I think they were
She
all.
had a
on
good
it.
sense of
They were
humor.
just like
They were
jamming.
just-
They were
yeah.
just jamming.
And she's like, "I can walk with you for anywhere you want to go." So like people were like leading their battery girls around. It was ridiculous.
Sorry.
I mean, just
I think that.
That's South by in a nutshell.
I think that.
that's
I
pretty
think.
much.
Yes.
I think again. I think I talked
We went
about
to a
this.
restaurant where I paid for something like with money, and it wasn't sponsored by MasterCard, and like the people there weren't pitching me something. And it was like the most wonderful experience I've ever had.
I think that when the aliens find the remnants of our world and the society
Yeah.
contained therein, the culture and society contained therein, they're going to boot up one of these on one of these iPhones. They're going to boot up the Highlight app. And they're going to know. I think I said this about
For
something else.
brief
On the last
45 seconds before the phone dies.
They'll know. They'll take a look at it and they'll know why our civilization was doomed.
I mean, it's a cool idea. So
By
if
the
you
way,
don't know-
I'm sure the highlight creators right now are psyched. I just said
they're
that
freaking out. I met Paul Davison. He's a guy.
I doubt they're freaking. They
I didn't mean
don't, they
it.
don't
Send me
care
an
about my
email.
opinion
That's
about
what it is.
highlight.
Well, look. So
What's the point of the app though?
the
Can you
point of
explain
that
it?
is you leave it on your phone.
Yeah.
It always knows where you are.
Yeah.
Whenever it plugs into your Facebook social graph.
Okay.
Whenever you're near somebody, it decides that you will find interesting.
Okay.
It pings you and says
Oh.
you're near this person.
Right.
Now that is sort of great, but it has these. I mean, it's like every
No,
idea at
is,
South by
is,
Southwest.
is that sort of great?
It's vaguely interesting.
Like
It's
just-
like sort of great, like
Well,
in the sense that like
explain
when
to
you
me-
walk into a party and you kind of want to know who's there.
yeah,
like
but,
having a
but what
list
are
of
the, what are-
interesting
what-
people at a party. Is
I mean,
nice.
like, what are the metrics they're using to judge what is what you would find interesting?
So the things
Social
you're saying
graph.
is like, oh yeah, social graph. It's how many people are you friends with that are friends with this person? Or
how many interests do you share?
how many interests you share? If you both like Lost, because you don't remember you put
Right.
Lost on there 2 years ago.
But
So-
really, it's
but
incredibly.
it's based
creepy.
on the concept of like you are defined by the things that you like,
The things you
It's-
say you
yeah,
like.
on Facebook.
the things you say you like.
on Facebook.
Okay, fine, but just for the sake of the argument, I mean, are people simply a collection of things that they like? Maybe when you're, I feel like this is I mean, personally, I feel like this is the kind of thing you think when you're 19 and on the prowl. You're like, I gotta find a girl who's really into PIL.
Oh my God! No,
Like,
yes.
she's not into PIL, she doesn't get me. That's me when I'm 19. I had that voice, by the way.
I definitely used to walk around Madison asking girls if they like the Cure.
Yeah, right. Because
Like
you don't
my
want to date a
main
girl
move.
because if you find a
did that
girl
work?
who's into like
Did that
Britney
work?
Spears, you guys would have nothing in common.
I want you to think about what happens when you pick up a girl who openly responds to the question, "I like the Cure," and then goes somewhere with you.
Oh, I know.
It was
They made
one
love.
very young.
They
Very
made love
serious.
all night on a tombstone. Well, from Nilay's Mercedes, the Cure. He opened the doors. The Cure was blasting into the
so
into the
good.
into the graveyard as he made sweet, slow, passionate gothic love.
Black
On a
eyeshadow
tombstone.
everywhere. Yours and hers.
Why are we doing? Why
I
is
look
this
really good.
Why
by
is
the
this
way.
about
Can I say
technology?
this? I look really good in eyeliner.
Why is this about
I have like
technology?
really nice eyes. for
I can't
eyeliner.
wait. I cannot.
Guyliner.
I cannot wait to see the comments on this of the people complaining that we're not on topic enough. We talk over each other.
I was going to complain about the Apple TV for a while.
Why are
I
we
can
even?
jump
Why
into
is this even a technology focused? Are we? Is it even anymore?
It's tech and tech culture.
Tech culture,
Look, if you
which
like tech-
involves Nilay Patel making sweet, slow, gothic love on a tombstone. Anyhow, so tell me more about South by Southwest. There are a couple of other really interesting things. Homeless hotspot.
So that was. I didn't actually see any of those.
But
Apparently,
Laura June wrote a scathing.
Did you see them?
Thoughtful. It was not
I actually
scathing.
didn't find. Billy and I looked on the last day to try to find a homeless
Yeah.
hotspot here.
All right, let me set the premise here. Some advertising agency or what are they? They're like a.
yeah, it's an ad agency.
They had this idea, and they worked in conjunction with a local homeless shelter in Austin to equip homeless people with MiFis, and they had a
These
code.
shirts that said,
They had
"I
a
was-"
code on their shirt. They're like, text this number with this code, and you'll get back information or something on how to connect.
No,
to
but
the
you could
hotspot.
pay them. No, you could pay the guys for their password.
You could pay them like with
and they
cash.
got to keep
With cash.
and they got to keep the money. Yeah.
They should have tied in Square or PayPal's Triangle to do
Yeah.
instant
Mastercard trapezoid.
yeah. Anyhow, but so the idea was that you would pay these homeless people to use their MiFis
Right.
for
Right.
for a period of time, and on the surface, highly offensive.
Yes.
Extremely offensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just say at face value, super offensive idea,
Yes.
right?
All right.
And Laura June wrote an editorial about this that I thought made a really good point. And I do think that it makes the one point that you can say about this where it was like there is a positive takeaway, if any, which is we're sitting here talking about these homeless people, and there were stories written specifically about these homeless people, and for 1 second, people who are normally thinking about like, does my social app connect me with people with similar interests in my nearby area, were forced to think about a real problem, which is homelessness.
Yeah.
And so, yes, was it a pathetic, horrible marketing stunt? Kind of. But did it also, at least momentarily, raise some awareness about the fact that there are, problems with the homeless in Austin and elsewhere? I mean, it did. And that's actually kind of valuable because, I think, the point of the editorial, which I agree with, is that, we as people want to avoid confronting things like homelessness. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you want to cross the street or, you know, change trains. But, you know, this kind of made you it put it in your face. And that I think that has some, and they did work with a shelter. It wasn't like they were just like
Well, let me
pulling
ask you a
people off
question.
the street.
What's the fundamental difference between giving homeless people MiFis and FedEx putting batteries on their workers?
Well, there's no.
I mean,
There's no reason to. Are they trying to raise awareness about people who will do anything for money? Like, but the point of the homeless hotspot is that the idea is, look, here's people who don't have anything, you know, and it's a problem that needs to be addressed, and it's like putting it in front of you.
No, I don't. That shirt doesn't say, "Hi, I'm homeless and I'm a hotspot." It just says, "I'm a hotspot." I mean, if you look at what they were doing, it just says, "I'm a 4G hotspot." If you didn't know any better,
but they explained it. It wasn't like they were just. It wasn't a secret.
It wasn't a secret.
Are you suggesting that this company just wanted to make some money on hotspots? And
No, I don't think they made any money.
Right,
on
no,
hotspots.
the money went. The money went.
I think they wanted the homeless people to make money,
and that's where the money went.
right. But I'm just saying, like, I don't.
But it wasn't like a secret. I mean, it was meant to be known that they were living in a shelter or that they were homeless.
Right.
It wasn't like they were trying to hide that.
Yeah, but I think in the end, that's like the secondary goal. I think the raising awareness and the.
What was the primary goal for BBH to get some?
No, I think the
publicity?
primary goal was for these people to operate whatever little business owning a hotspot is.
See, they actually, so that's where it's like kind of flawed, is that the guys from this marketing agency,
Yeah.
they were like, yeah, we thought that the papers that you see people handing out on the street. Like,
But that's what they.
no, I know.
That
They
was
just
their
said, like,
open line.
we thought this was like a better business model. That is really flawed.
I mean, I think
that
this whole
idea
thing is stupid, but that's
no,
what
it
they were
is.
going
It
for.
is. It is stupid, but it also like I guess the one piece that isn't stupid about it is that, you know, a group of people that normally I think doesn't want to talk about or think about the homeless is talking about and thinking
So what
about the
they should have
homeless.
done, but this is what I'm saying. What they should
have thrown a big
If your
party.
goal was to say
Or they
we
gave
want to
a-
raise awareness of homelessness, you put hotspots on the corners, you make them free or whatever, and you have the homeless people sit there and talk about being homeless. You don't say
Still
like
the same
you
same
don't, 'cause
idea, though,
people
isn't
just
it?
Ignore the homeless then. Like they actually have to interact with the homeless person now.
by texting a number on their shirt.
Well, there is. I mean, there's more to it than that.
I'm just saying, like these the goals and the products and you know, with Streetwise or whatever. Is it called Streetwise in New York? In Chicago, the paper the homeless people sell is called Streetwise.
I don't know the name of it here. You know why? Because I've never grabbed one. Because I don't need to.
Anyway, with
But you know what I do
Streetwise-
need on the street? A hotspot.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
I don't.
You have that.
That's right. It's true. I got this iPad.
I don't know who needs a hotspot on the streets of Austin.
This is bad. I hate
That's
this
actually
thing,
true.
by
That's the
way.
one thing about
The way
Austin.
this flaps around
Wi-Fi
here.
everywhere.
Can I ask a question? Actually, getting back to the iPad for a second. Why is it like this? Look, it goes beyond it when it's all the way out on the edge. Okay, can't hold it because it gets all crumpled up like this.
You don't.
Why
And
don't
then
you just fold it in?
when
Yeah.
it flips over, it creates an uneven surface to hold it. Why?
I mean, books aren't even surfaces.
Yes, they
either.
are. They are even surfaces. They're books. They're like this.
All right.
They're just like a flat back.
Look. You
Look,
just,
oh,
you
this
just
is
answered
nice.
it. You just did it.
No, but that's crazy. Why should I keep having to take this off? The whole idea is why didn't they just make it a little bit shorter?
You don't know
Because
why.
then it wouldn't. Yeah, I get that. But how about just have it fold back enough so that you can forget it? I mean, you can't even. There's not even enough surface area here.
I always just make the triangle. I, have to
I
say,
can't
yeah.
finish a sentence now. I'm so incensed.
I know. It's funny that you're more incensed about the smart cover than the homeless.
I'm incensed about all of it. There's a lot of injustice in this world. Homelessness, a smart cover that just doesn't fit that great on the back of the iPad. I think I'm equally outraged about both, and they're equal problems.
Can we get through the things, the two pieces of news that came out of South by?
Please do.
Audio got completely revamped.
Audio got a Spotify.
Audio became Spotify.
More or less.
Audio got a Spotify.
And the Spotify guys basically told me that they're going to save music from itself.
You know, what'd be funny is if Spotify redesigned to look like the old Audio at the same time.
Spotify needs a redesign bad.
Spotify is the Skype of music apps. Okay, I'm just going to say it.
I like it on the.
out there.
I'm okay with it on the desktop. I think the mobile app is garbage.
Oh no, I
Really?
think the
desktop's terrible.
desktop app is like
I've gotten so
It's
used
like
to it.
Bizarro iTunes, which in itself is bad.
desktop. Desktop is like such a flawed user experience that I don't even. It's Skype. Have you ever used the new version of Skype, people of America and the world who may be listening to this? It is just such a jumble of just rotten UI concepts. Yeah. That's what Spotify feels like to me. I will say this, the Ardio revamp does seem like Spotify, but it's better.
Whatever they're doing with text handling, however they're rendering text on OS 10, it looks like trash to me.
You should see it on the new iPad.
It probably looks like garbage too.
Oh, it looks incredible.
Can you open the Ardio web app?
I don't want. Yeah.
I mean, sure, it plays over
because on the desktop it's based on Flash. It's like there's a Flash engine underneath.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. You can't open obviously can't open the Flash version. I could open the app.
Well, I don't want to see the app.
You want to see the app?
I've seen the app.
You want me to play some music for you? What do you want to hear?
The Cure.
Steely Dan? Oh, The Cure? Are you putting the moves on me right now?
Hey.
Let's go get your Mercedes. It's the second time you suggested leaving us alone.
Second time.
Ross has been trying to get out of here since you sat down.
All right.
I mean, I'm sorry.
So Spotify.
Look,
so Ardio and Spotify. And what was the other thing?
Well, no. I mean, what else did you see? I mean, I think that those are the two big pieces of news.
Right. The other thing that we
Facebook.
Was,
you
Facebook.
hung out with a bunch of Facebook apps.
Angry Birds
Literally,
in Space.
they had T-shirts on that said "I'm a Facebook app," and we just talked to them, text them a number. No, so
good. They turned out they were homeless.
Poor Dennis.
Homeless apps.
Yeah.
So, went to Facebook's Austin headquarters, which is nice, of course. Facebook had announced 6 or 7 high-profile timeline apps, which is basically, you go to the Onion now looks better on your Facebook timeline if you've read it and you want to share it.
But it still looks like a box.
It's still a box.
It's just a box.
It's not a lot there. Vivo had a nice implementation, I guess. Just you can see the videos, their thumbnails, they play inline.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was like Foursquare, which was interesting. Vivo, Fandango, the Onion,
and there were 2 apps that nobody had ever heard of, and they got to definitely crash the party with Vivo. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're pushing this stuff, and they told me in our little conversation about it that they're really pushing for Facebook apps to be their whole is to be high quality.
Yeah.
But in the end, they're boxes on your profile, and I just don't.
Well, I think they're experimenting.
You know what's interesting is that the Spotify app is like social, right? Like you have to dive in to turn off the crap. And the new wave of apps, the social stuff is like right on top. Like the new Vivo, if you go to the Vivo site, there's a big button that stays in the corner that says social on or social off.
Yeah.
Right. I think they're beginning to realize that people sometimes don't want to be tracked. I really want to turn it off.
If I was scrobbling, and maybe I am, I hope I'm not. But if I was scrobbling my Hulu play history, I would be very ashamed.
Yeah.
Since I've watched 15 straight episodes of The New Girl.
Do you know how this works? Because you've just told everybody.
How is The New Girl?
So let me tell you about The New Girl.
Oh my god.
First, I hated it. And then in an act of utter desperation because there is just nothing else to watch. And, at the end of a long day, and maybe I've talked about this before, but at the end of a long day, I have to do something that requires I can't read, okay? Because I spend all day reading, and I don't want to talk. And I don't want to play video games because video games require mental effort.
You just want to sit back.
I just want
veg out.
I want something. I just want something that I don't have to think about or work on at all. And that is American primetime television.
Yeah.
And so The New Girl, I saw it when it first aired, and I really didn't care for it. But this is but then you just get to a point where you've run out of episodes of 30 Rock to watch.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? You want to see something lighthearted. You don't want to watch. What am I going to watch? 6 Feet Under. I need to go down. I need to go down there. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, it's depressing.
I tell you what you do watch. You watch NBC's Community because it's coming back tonight.
Yes.
And
Yes.
It's going back 30 minutes.
But more
So-
is that where you have to be?
I'm gone.
But more than that, it's been picked up by Comedy Central.
Yeah, syndication.
Yeah. No, not for
Not
syndication.
syndicate.
It's
simulcast.
No, it's
I thought they were just doing new
No,
seasons.
they're playing seasons 1 through 3 starting this fall.
Creighton just knows.
But wait,
Yeah.
are they making new episodes as well?
They have not decided on a new episode
At the end of
tonight.
the season, it is an unknown ending for Community.
Yeah.
Well, I hope, and I want to petition the world right now. But by the way, I don't care if Community is on NBC or where it is, but it's a great show.
Yeah.
And it should be on something.
College needs at least 4 years. So they need 4 seasons.
You think that they're going to go to college?
I mean, 6 seasons in a movie, right?
It'd be great if they all decided to become doctors.
Yeah.
It was 12 seasons of them in college, or however many years
They
it
just
is.
be Scrubs.
How many years do you have to go to school to become a doctor?
Scrubs was 7 seasons?
Please don't talk to me about Scrubs.
It's just saying, and they've done that.
So many sound effects in that show.
And
All right, go watch
Yeah.
Community.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you, Ross. It's wonderful. Let's get Paul. By the way, I mean, it is,
2012.
yes, unbearably hot in this room.
I thought you said we should have 4 chairs. Because it's kind of silly that we don't.
No, I don't want 4
You
chairs.
just want 3.
We're just all alone here.
Where's Paul?
Here he
Paul.
comes. Can we talk about
Paul.
Paul's John Carter of Mars haircut for a second? Can we get a shot of this?
Did you guys see this movie? They read a really interesting article about
Really
it yesterday.
excited to see it.
The trailer?
Yeah.
How a trailer doomed. This is actually
Yeah,
brilliant.
that
New
is
York,
a really good
New York
article.
Magazine did a story about how the original trailer for John Carter doomed
So,
it
here's the
from
only
the,
thing
from
about
the get-go.
that.
Yeah.
Paul.
That was also
The best trailer.
no. Well,
I like that
Have
trailer.
you read the book?
No.
I've read the book. So and
I understand you read books.
And Andrew Stanton is one of my favorite directors in the world.
Yeah.
And I also wasn't into the trailer. So like,
You didn't like the original trailer.
right. So like the reasons listed are the same. Like they didn't introduce it very well. It was just for this mega fanboy. But it's also just not a very good trailer, no matter what.
Yeah.
That Peter Gabriel song is pretty good. I didn't know that was
No, Peter, John Cale.
because in the article it said
It says
Peter Gabriel.
for sure in the article. Anyway.
No, it's John Cale.
It's John
You
Cale.
sure?
Are you sure? Are you sure
I'm
we're talking about the same
100%
trailer?
sure it was Peter
No, in
Gabriel.
the article it definitely says Peter
Yeah.
Gabriel. I can't speak to what it actually is because I don't know the song. But
Are you gonna
it
ask
said
Siri?
it said a Peter Gabriel cover of an Arcade Fire song.
Yes.
No, it's John Cale. Oh, you know it is Peter Gabriel. Never mind. I'm so wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm
Well,
lying.
check you out, Mr.
Can we talk
Facts.
about? I have 2 more things.
Maybe you
on
ought
the list
to
use.
maybe you ought to read less books and more internet.
Dos topicosos.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm speaking Tex-Mex now.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
One thing, the other huge thing. Oh, by the way, do you have any audio Spotify thoughts? I feel like you're full of thoughts about these services.
It's filled to the brim with thoughts.
So I haven't investigated it too deeply, but I did try out the new version of Rdio,
You like it?
and it's yeah, it's
Acceptable.
better. It's okay.
You know,
it's okay. But one thing I was really excited about is that supposedly you don't have to use Flash anymore.
It's
But-
there.
but
It's lurking.
It's like I tried to do that on Safari, but it's like you literally cannot log in.
There
without
is an
Flash,
inherent
so-
ugliness to Rdio
Yeah.
that I swear comes because of its reliance on Flash.
I
don't know
I
about
look
that.
at
I
it and I
see
see
it.
it.
I haven't experienced
To be
that.
honest, like
Just look at the app, dude. Look at the.
what? Am I not close enough? I'm sorry.
Like behind it.
This text rendering. Like, just compare that to that. It looks bad. Look with your eyes.
So
That looks bad. That looks good. Everyone's looking at my screen.
I don't know. It looks okay to me.
oh,
That's
it's
gross.
using Flash's text rendering instead of the
Yeah, it's
operating
not
Is
system.
it?
native.
Try to
Somewhere?
select the text. I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's like this bright blue. It's not the same blue as
But
like,
select some text there. That's not Flash. That's not being rendered by Flash.
that's not being rendered by the system.
You don't know what it. You don't know that.
I
You
I
know-
know
you
that
know-
that's
you
not the
know
native
nothing.
text rendering of OS 10.
You don't know that.
I do.
Well, that's not. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't.
It's not the native text rendering of OS 10.
The highlight. That's not the question.
No, the whole thing, like this whole thing that's happening here, is something else.
Well,
that I don't
it's
like.
it's not a native.
It looks
app,
bad.
but
You know,
it could be HTML.
Did Laura make a joke about you only listening to ZZ Top? And
Yeah.
it is ZZ Top is
You
right
know what?
now
Because the
in
last
his-
time I used Rdio was at CS when we were blasting.
So anyways,
I've been using
my
Spotify.
my only problem is that like basically, I always liked Rdio's UI. I've been using Spotify exclusively for about a month, and the reason I moved was not because of the UI. It was because, in fact, I hate Spotify's UI. It's because Spotify
Rude.
can play like 2 songs in a row without randomly pausing.
Right, because this is all built on some engine
Rdio
that I
has
don't
just
like.
the jankiest engine underneath it.
It's
and
Flash.
so horrible. And as far as I know, that's what I wish they would fix.
Yeah.
And so,
To go.
you know, the UI has some nice things to it, but ultimately, I'm going to still use Spotify. And Spotify has gapless playback now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
it's
of-
so
Here's
awesome.
the thing. Here's
God.
so just. I want to talk about this Britannica thing because I think it's so interesting. But
We're talking about the Encyclopedia Britannica. Now we're
Oh, yeah.
switching.
no, I
topics.
want to say one thing. So we interviewed Wilson Miner at South by Southwest,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, "Well, iTunes is just a really fancy CD changer, and we've got to move beyond that for music."
I agree.
I completely disagree. That is absolutely wrong.
It's a very, very fancy CD.
Like,
changer.
you know, people, it doesn't matter like that you have access to all of the music. It doesn't matter that it's all in the cloud. You still want to take the things that you like and put them all in the same place.
I agree.
And see, these are the songs that I want.
What's wrong with that?
You can't, I mean, like, iTunes is really good at that. It's
Well,
really
I
good
wouldn't
at
say-
showing
I
you.
wouldn't say it's really good at it.
It's better than almost anything that's come before it. It's better
Wait,
than almost.
I'm
It's
sorry,
better than
did you
Spotify.
say-
No,
Did you
Winamp.
say that this is what the Spotify guy or the
You know
artist?
it's
Audio
no
guy
Winamp.
said this.
Right.
Well, as
So
he makes his app look more and more like iTunes.
No, I just.
But like
I
iTunes is good at showing you
I'm very
your artists, your
frustrated that-
albums. It's good at making playlists. It's
Right,
good at making
But
smart playlists.
Ardio, I thought was far superior to Spotify for creating playlists and like grouping the music you like.
You couldn't add an album into a playlist until today.
Right. You could only add one song at a
Oh,
time.
I never noticed that.
I
don't make a lot of playlists personally.
I do like the way Ardio does playlists where you can like the way you can subscribe to them and the way you can like comment on things. I like Ardio's social features, like its own social
Because they
stuff.
built their own internal.
They
Yeah,
built their
yeah,
own
yeah.
social stuff that makes a lot more
I
sense
agree with that.
for music than Spotify's. But the problem with Ardio is that I can't add like an MP3 that I get off of an MP3 blog.
Well,
right?
it won't
that
read
I-
your like.
But you can do that with Spotify.
Right, you
Right.
could do that with Spotify. There's
You know,
all this sort of
I
like
just keep looking at these apps
fragmentation.
and the way that they're running around in circles and trying not to be iTunes.
2 words for you.
And the second Apple adds streaming to the iTunes,
It's over.
it's done
2 words for you.
because people like iTunes.
Spodio,
Spotify,
Ratify,
Ratify,
Artify,
Artify.
Artify, and Spodio. Somebody needs to create the perfect mashup.
Oh, dude,
No, but I agree.
by the
I
way-
have to say, I agree with Nilay. If they can lock in the rights and they think it makes financial sense, which I don't
Have
know.
you guys seen this great new Tumblr called Tether These Droids?
Oh yeah, no,
Tumblr?
it's been in the chat.
You guys
Don't
are
worry about
already,
it. Thomas Houston's been all over
Are
me.
you kidding me? Did somebody make that while we
Yeah.
were?
There it is.
No, click on Tether. There's a bunch of droids being tethered.
Yeah, no, it's
This is amazing.
this has been happening.
What is it? Tetherthesedroids.tumblr.com.
Yeah.
I hope that they'll be taking submissions because I have a few that I'd like to. I have a few shots I'd like to share.
You were gonna say something about iTunes.
Yeah, sure wasn't important. I'm sure Tether These Droids is more important. Yeah, what I was going to say was if it makes financial sense to Apple and to the labels, which I'm not sure
That's
that
a big conversation, right?
well, it is a big conversation.
And that's what Spotify was talking.
No, and I'm not sure that it does at this point. I mean, they make a lot of money. The iTunes store makes a lot of money.
So
And it makes a lot of money for Apple, and it makes a little bit of money for
So the
labels.
per-
Not what they're used to.
So
but-
it's it takes 50 streams. This is the estimation. It takes 50 streams of a song on Spotify to equal the royalty the artist of one sale on iTunes.
that's nuts.
It's sort of nuts.
No,
mean,
it's insane.
Yeah, but the
Well,
alternative.
no music company or artist in the world would take that deal.
They're all taking it. They're racing to take it.
No. They're taking it because iTunes exists.
Wait, but the problem
The-
is
what's
that-
They're taking it because piracy
they have like
exists.
no. Spotify has like 1 million users.
No, it has more than that. It
How
has
many-
10
what-
million users.
Okay, 10 million users.
3 million who are paying the $10. And
Okay,
the rest
fine.
it's monetizing through ads.
Okay, fine. So
And that's 10 million active monthly users. We don't know what their total.
okay, but compare that to how many users of iTunes exist?
I don't know. Nobody knows. It's how many songs.
Would you say it's? Would you think it's more or less than users of Facebook?
You're looking? Those numbers they're not comparable.
I'm just saying people are
the
buying.
number
There's a
that you're
large
looking-
number of people
The number
buying
that you
music.
compare for iTunes is how many songs. Have
But if
they
it's
sold.
50 to 1,
because the active users of iTunes aren't always buying things.
no, but it takes 50. If one person buys something, it's as valuable as 50 people streaming it. You understand? So like, think about how many.
No, but this math doesn't work the way you think it
Well,
does.
but it does. But in that,
And in fact,
But
the
think
chief
about-
content officer of Spotify, when I went to that talk, he referred to your comparison specifically as asinine.
why is it asinine?
Comparing per unit royalties.
Oh, wait a second. You're saying that you're saying the COO or the CCO of
Yeah. But
of
Josh-
Spotify
Josh-
defended Spotify's
Josh,
business
Josh,
model?
one
I
big
can't
thing.
imagine.
One big thing is sometimes you buy a song and then you listen to it multiple times.
Yes. So it takes 2 people listening to a song 25 times, or 10 people listening to it.
Wait a
5
second.
times.
Wait a second. So
And then you get back to where you're at.
you didn't. So it's not individual users listening to it. It's
Streams.
plays,
Plays,
Right.
streams.
and that generates 50
One
plays.
One play equals a 50th of a sale.
I still
so
think-
over the
I still think
course
that's
of a
a-
lifetime,
but
you
that's
could come
still,
out way ahead.
That's still a very vague number that we don't know who's really receiving the money for that.
So he also said
Yeah.
we want to make the payment from Spotify to artists happen in real time, but the record labels aren't set up that way.
Well, no, I mean it's because they're on record
Oh,
labels.
interesting that they say that after my awesome editorial about that.
I brought it up with him. We talked about it.
No, but
I think the fact that
but that's because record labels are a middleman.
Yeah.
Right.
That's their job is to act as middlemen. There was a time when they were the only way to get music heard by a mass of people.
Mm-hmm.
Now this I know about. There was a time when record labels were the only way for a group of people to hear your music, and therefore you had to funnel everything through a record label. We've moved beyond the true need for a record label.
Yeah.
And as the internet becomes more and more what is where we live our lives, that need becomes less and less. But record labels still have to like define their place in this world, and as a result, I mean, radio still exists. You know, MTV still exists. The things
MTV does not still exist.
there's some
Come on.
MTV6 or something.
Vivo exists.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. Vivo
Okay,
exists.
fine.
MTV doesn't exist.
Well,
and
and-
Vivo's got the same model of per stream royalty.
And
Right,
this,
but-
and
but
this
the-
stream thing, you know, if you look at the top play, like you can have a song that gets like 50 million views on YouTube, and it probably was purchased on iTunes like 50,000 times.
I don't know. A song with 50 million views was probably purchased quite a bit.
Maybe,
but-
maybe.
I mean,
how many
Rihanna's
times do
still
you
selling
think-
singles.
How many times do you think it was?
Well, it depends on what song you're talking about.
The question for them is: do you want to monetize every play of a song ever, or do you want to sell it to you once? Do you want the big money up front, or do you want a lot of little money forever?
Right.
And that who knows the answer. But
Well,
that's,
I mean,
that's the
you gotta
argument
pay,
that's happening.
You got to pay your rent. A little money forever is like doesn't help with that sometimes.
And the average.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you like over the lifetime of a song, you may collect like an enormous amount of royalties, but if those trickle out,
Yeah.
Well,
it's not useful to regular humans.
and
Right.
the big problem.
So you
is
have to have like some sort of critical mass of.
This is the conversation in the industry now. But what I'm saying is the idea that they need to build a different UI or a different experience around music because you have access to everything, which is what they're both trying to
BS.
do. It's completely insane.
no, I
People
agree.
don't want to experience
No, no.
music differently because they have access to the library.
No.
They don't.
No. I think what he's.
Are you serious?
I'm dead
Are you being
serious.
serious?
What are you saying?
You know why? I think audio is better than Spotify is because you get a collection in audio.
People really. I mean, people want Pandora.
What?
People want Pandora. The people want to stream. People want an app to tell them what to listen to.
No, that's fine.
People-
you build that on
No.
top.
Right.
And what Paul's suggesting is
That's what
the
I'm saying.
social stuff helps people learn what
Right.
to
That's
listen to.
about discovery. But once you decide that you like something, you want to take it and
I will
put
say,
it
I will say,
somewhere
I
else.
will say, I think there needs to be. It's not an either or.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. It's not an either or. There should be both.
Yeah.
And there's
But
no
the-
reason
but
why
the-
there can't be both.
The third thing that nobody's really covering, that iTunes doesn't really do very well, and RDO and Spotify don't do well, is discovering when you discover music in your regular browsing, and that's what I
Ping.
No, XFM. Like when you're browsing in a browser and somebody says, "Hey, here's an MP3." Spotify, RDO, iTunes, none of them deal with it very well.
What do you mean when somebody says, "Here's an MP3"? Can
Here's
you give
an
me a
MP3,
specific, like a
you're,
blog,
You're reading an MP3,
like
blog.
a music blog,
right? And at the
and they're
bottom
like, "Here's
of
something
the-
that's like on
or-
a small
yeah, like-
label
or-
that we put on here."
right. And there's a lot of that is.
And what
legal
would
now.
what's your expectation?
Well, I don't know. I really like. You should be able to click right next to that MP3 link. I use XFM to do this. Like you hit plus, and now XFM remembers where that MP3 is, and you can make playlists out of that. You can share that with your friends, but it's a third siloed music
Yeah.
experience. that I
I'm
have.
confused. What would you want to have happen? You want it to like drop it into RDO,
Yeah.
and then you can share it from RDO.
Yeah, think about. Everything from RDO comes from the cloud, but
Well,
they don't integrate with the other
but I see. I
clouds.
feel like
It's a-
I feel like Spotify has worked closer towards that with their apps.
Right.
I feel like you could do that with their apps if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
You definitely could.
Which is, I think, the answer to this question, because it's not going to be.
Right.
That's such a. I think it's a very specific use case.
I don't think it's this.
But I will say this, like on
think
your
a lot of
on your
people
point
use
of
it.
discovery, of music discovery, and people wanting to be told what to listen to, we're being arrested now. We've just
For
got too
stealing
controversial for piracy. I think it is a great point that we've gone away from the culture of DJs, who were they were the They were the cure.
That kind of DJ. It's not that every kid in America is now a DJ instead of playing the guitar kind of DJ.
No, the culture of like,
you know what? I went to Best Buy. I spent $200, and now I'm a DJ.
the culture of
Spinning
of
it, yo.
the culture of like
DJ Millie.
Did you know you don't even need real record
Go ahead,
players?
Paul, Josh,
whoever I am. It's not important.
Ross.
Ross wants to say something. Let him speak. The culture of the radio DJ who was an actual tastemaker, who was actually like, you wanted him to, like, bands wanted him to play the single because it would become popular, you know, and people were like, the DJ's playing this new song that I've never heard. I'm going to go. That doesn't exist anymore, right? And we have things like Sirius that are, you know, they do a kind of a good job, but they're still not what they. It's so, everything is so widely disseminated now. It's not the same kind of thing where you've got these like tastemakers. And I think that there needs to be. I mean, if we want, I mean, where is music? What is the gallery for music? You know,
The gallery?
What is the
Radio. It's always. It's
well, no,
good.
but you know what I'm saying. Like, if a gallery is where you view new art, or a museum, right,
Oh,
where
like
you
a
see,
museum
you know,
gallery.
what is the place where music is curated, right? And it has shifted to. Blogs have been doing a lot of curation, and you know, then mainstream picks up on what the blogs are talking about, and it becomes popular. But then, like, what's the next step? And I think that these guys are all trying to solve for this, you know, problem, which is how do you? I mean, they want to create like this social curation, right? Your friends like it, so you should check it out. Your friends become the DJ. You know, when we had Nicholas Negroponte on the Engadget show, I asked him a question about. He had written something a long time ago about what do you do if, you know, it was like there would be these programs that would find the kind of news you wanted to read, and you could turn a dial and make it more left-wing or more right-wing news, and it would adjust the news accordingly. And I asked him about that, and I said, where are those? That never happened. Like, where are the dials now? And he's like, the dials are the people you know or the people that you trust. It's this social network or this social circle. Right. And so that's what they're trying to lock in, right? This discovery of, like, I log on to RDO and I see that Nilay's listened to ZZ Top, you know, and Paul's listened to Taylor Swift. And by the way, that's real. That's exactly what I see when I log on. And is that the way that people will discover music now? I mean, it's a way, but I still think there needs to be room. There still needs to be room for the other, what Nilay's talking about, which is the personal experience of listening to music.
It just needs to be more integrated. You know, like I listen to a lot of music on YouTube. You know, I listen to
Everybody listens to a lot of music.
I actually do. When I need to hear a song immediately, all I do is I go to YouTube. That's what people do, right?
And I just think it needs to be tracked across all these services and integrated better, and they need to be smarter, and it's you know, it needs to stop being like winner takes all, and start I don't know, sharing this data in a way that's better and smarter.
Yeah, you should definitely. You know who's going to do that though? Is Facebook.
But you know what?
In the end, that's who's going to do it.
But it'll be Facebook's thing.
No, it won't.
They'll have
the way
control of it.
Facebook is talking about is all these services feed their data into Facebook, right? They all.
And
do.
in return, Facebook is kind of open with that data.
Yeah, and in return, so you know, on Facebook right now, it shows you
I'm
like
okay with that.
Joshua Topolsky listened to this track on RDO, but it doesn't matter that you listen to it on RDO.
I mean,
That's dumb.
I think this speaks. I think this speaks more to the need for the USB of this thing. No, I've been thinking about
standard.
I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, you wrote something about things like BBM and these sort of people trying to create these like buy into my ecosystem, right? And I've been thinking about it a lot that everywhere you go now, every company that exists is trying to tell you to buy into their RDO's like buy into my ecosystem, and Spotify's like buy into my ecosystem.
A big example of this is playlist lock-in, and I asked RDO's CEO about this, and he chuckled. It's like why would we let you use Spotify's playlist? Like, why would that be? You know, then you could leave. And it's like,
So
yes,
this
like
is
if you're proud enough in your product, yes, these guys really should adhere to an open playlist.
That's fear.
standard.
I mean, that's a like fear thought, you know. But I do think there is a question of creating standards instead of ecosystems. You know, like it's so frustrating that everybody wants, like Apple, they thought Ping was going to be the ecosystem where you shared music with your friends, and Rdio and Spotify want to create their ecosystems, and they want to use Facebook to sort of supercharge their ecosystem. But Spotify's like, hey, we can do apps now. So let me get this straight. Like, I'm in the Spotify app listening to music. You have a cough mute. It's so loud in my headphones. But they have this we're gonna open up our app and scrabble to Facebook, and then use apps in our app to do other things.
Right.
And then what's happening?
Already is Flash and Air. That's why I don't like it.
Flash and Air.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Sounds like a anyhow, I don't know. Great band name.
Flash.
Flash and Air.
Yeah.
So I just think I wish there was we need to be thinking about these standards. It's great. HDMI, super useful for lots of people. USB, super useful for lots of people. Where are the USBs of playlists? Or I just think that it's frustrating to have to constantly be choosing.
Or another thing like that is like a taste profile. You have to train Pandora to know what you like.
Right.
But if you ever wanted to go in a different service, you'd have to train that.
Well, I mean, in some way, maybe that
And
is Facebook. I mean, to talk about
Right.
collections of data. But Facebook is not a standard. It's not the plumbing. I mean, maybe they want to be.
becoming a-
Maybe they
No,
want
Facebook
to be.
wants to be the plumbing.
No, they want to
Yeah.
be the plumbing.
That's what all these apps are built on top of.
Right.
And
Do you think we'll see a Facebook OS at some point?
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
a
without
computer
question.
that you open up.
I mean,
and
they're
it's
definitely
fake.
doing a phone. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that they're doing a
Do you
phone.
know something I don't know?
I
Would you like to share with
I
me?
just know that everyone tells me they're doing a phone.
Yeah. I just
yeah,
don't. I don't get that.
I want
mean,
a
I don't-
computer where I can
I don't
just
get the Facebook phone.
it can just open up, and it's a Facebook wall scrolling with updates of other people, and then there's a blinking text box at the bottom, and I can type what I'm doing.
So you
and
want a Facebook chat?
all it is.
Here's the thing.
or maybe,
just an update
or maybe
machine?
maybe just a blank text box, and you just tell everybody what you're
say hi.
doing all the time.
Update computer.
Update computer. No, look, you want Twitter,
peak.
by the way.
Is that
What
what
you
you
just
said?
described was a Twitter
No,
peak.
but I want a Twitter operate. Yeah, you're right.
That's Twitter.
You
Twitter
want a
OS.
peak.
TWAS.
No, look, here's the thing about Facebook, and ultimately the thing about South by Southwest that I found infuriating.
We're going back there.
No, I mean, but it's what you're saying.
Backing up the pickup.
We're looping. It's Facebook knows how to make money. Making money is really hard, right? They know that if they put other people on their platform, they can continue to just make all the money, and other people can deliver services.
Right.
And all these app developers, they don't want to figure out the hard part, which is making the money.
Well, they would do, but they want it to happen quicker and easier.
And they want right.
They don't want it to be
They don't
hard.
want to do the hard work.
Well, I mean, I think some
And so
app
I think
developers do.
ultimately,
I think
some of them do.
I mean, subscription models make sense for companies like Rdio and Spotify.
Yeah, but they are doing the hard work of trying to figure out how to make money.
Right.
Spotify is running around begging the music industry to change so they can make money in an
Right.
appropriate
I just
way.
feel like
I mean,
all
that's the hard work.
I feel like
highlight the app where drains your battery and shows you who's around. They're not doing the hard work of how to make money. They're like, we had this idea, we made it.
They're brand
we'll
new.
glue it into Facebook.
like Twitter, they're trying to figure it out.
You can only
look,
do that so often.
But yeah,
you can only do that so
but you
much.
will admit that Twitter came up with a really useful thing without knowing how they were going to make
And
money at it.
But they did know, and they resisted the obvious thing that they had to do to
they're,
make money.
They're not making money.
But they're going. What are
They
they doing
might.
to make money? They're
I mean,
selling
they're
ads
selling
on Twitter.
advertisements. That's what everybody
They're letting
does.
brands go on Twitter.
But isn't
But we
all?
can't live in
no,
a
but-
society where we only have ads.
No, but here's let me just throw something. No,
Facebook-
that's actually what I want to say. Everybody is skirting around the thing that no one wants to say, which is everybody's trying to make money in a way that it doesn't look like they're making money, so people who are using it can feel like they're getting something for free.
Yeah.
Like that's what all companies are doing. Like we don't want you to pay for something because you ultimately will just steal it if we make you pay
companies-
for it.
It's funny because I'm writing a really great editorial about this, but which I teased 2 months ago.
Yes.
But
Don't give it
you know
away.
who does pay money is for apps, for iPhone apps.
No, but that's what I'm. But this gets to the heart of what I was about to say, which is, I don't believe that people won't pay for things.
Yeah, no, they
and
want
like,
to.
And like, and
It
I think
feels
that if
good
you
to
give
pay
them,
for
I think that's why iTunes was successful because it gave people a way to pay for things, and it wasn't a trick. It just was better.
Yeah.
And I think this actually goes back to the cost of electronics and the discussions we've had about you get what you pay for and like paying for slave labor versus paying for, it's like you have to pay for certain things or you have to do it a different way, which is the vaguest thing I've ever said.
Yes.
Like in the history of my life. But I do think there is this idea that everybody needs to be tricked into like seeing an advertisement or tricked into like we're making money off of some weird. I sat next to a guy on a plane who was involved in marketing on Facebook. He wasn't a Facebook guy, but he was a company that created. Sorry, my mustache is itchy. I don't know what's going on here, but you know how that happens.
Go ahead and
Everybody,
tweet that,
RLRT that really, you bastard. But it is. But it's probably the heat in this room. My mustache is going to fall off. Is that what you want?
I don't know if I should tweet my mustache is itchy or it's the heat in this room. My mustache is going to fall off. I'm having a really hard time.
Anyhow, the point is that like I feel like all people trying to make money all people trying to make money are on the internet and with apps are missing the point that people will pay for things like this Louis C.K. where it was like direct to the consumer basically, and people were like, yeah, I'll pay $5 for that. Like it's worth it to me. Like create a service, charge an amount of money that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
And people will actually pay. Like I'm happy.
But you don't get the network effect, and that's what all these services need to survive. Like Highlight was huge the first day.
Well, not every service can survive. That's the point.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest, baby.
But that's the
Get
thing.
with the program.
So they all think they can by being
Live free or
free
die.
and plugging into Facebook. And then I think the end game for every app I saw at South by Southwest was to be acquired by Google or Facebook. Because Google and Facebook know how to make money. And nobody else does.
Acquisition is the license for a commercial of the startup world. Like in music, to make money, you can tour or you can get your song licensed in a commercial. And that's how people make money now in music. So for apps... for startups, like a lot of them is like the way you make money is you sell.
You sell to Google.
Like you sell it off.
And your app disappears.
You sell it off and your app disappears and then
you never
use
did the work to make your idea
You know,
good.
by the way, what's still active? Friend feed. If you want to tune in, I'm still pumping like Twitter updates to friend feed. I checked it. I was like, what's up with friend feed? Remember when Robert Scoble was like, friend feed is gonna blow your mind. Friend feed is and then Facebook bought it. And then what do they do with it?
I don't know, man.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Like, what is it doing? Why is friend feed still on?
What's Kevin Rose going to do at Google, man?
Oink.
Who knows?
Hey, Google Plus.
I know.
Now
you know
with-
what? By
now
the end
with
of South
Oink.
by Southwest, I was like begging
Oink,
people
deep Oink integration into
to
Google.
sell things.
Is that his thing?
Deep.
Deep Oink integration into Google Plus. Think about the possibilities.
Yeah. You know
Oink-
the thing.
oink this.
You know the difference.
Plus
between-
one button and then an Oink button.
Yeah, that's what we need. Another social sharing button. The thing about
Oink Plus.
Oink Plus,
How many Oinks did this get?
by the way, you know who you really hired to redo Google Plus, make it a big success?
Yeah.
The guy who redesigned Dig.
I think that's a sick burn. I
a
can't be
huge
sure. Look. Don't be a jerk.
I'm not being a jerk.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's true.
Maybe someday.
it's true.
Maybe someday you'll know what it takes to create a dig. Maybe someday you'll oink a story about
Michael
creating
Knight.
a dig.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Are we done? You want to talk about
I really want to wrap
I've
up.
been like
Talk about
trying
the
to
what?
remember. There's
No,
like
I don't
there's a,
anymore.
What is it?
The encyclopedia.
No,
gosh.
I mean it's whatever.
There's a service that like is like the perfect example of everything we've been talking about for the past 10 minutes, and I can't think of what it is. So
Is it
just give up.
is it a service where you check in somewhere and it scrobbles that
I
check
don't know,
into a
I just-
playlist?
I was having conversation.
and it matches your check-in with a song. Oh, startup idea, free startup idea. You check in somewhere, it scrobbles the check-in to a music, some sort of like check-in analysis machine, check-in analysis thing that will match a song to the place you're in. So if like you're checking into an airport, it might scrobble to leaving on a jet plane, and then that updates all of your friends with your check-in and matching song. I call it a. Let's come up with a name for that right now.
You can have playlists for every month.
Playlist for every month of your life. You could look
Yeah.
back on a timeline of music/places.
Yeah.
Let me think of a good name for this. Any suggestions from the chat right now?
Google Platitude.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but it's good.
I feel like it's got to be a made-up word,
Yeah.
right? Like
Places, Play, like song places.
What about Scrumble?
Ooh.
that's good.
That's good.
Places, PLAYCES.
CES.
It's pretty good.
Places. or Sklurk. Sklurk.com.
Already taken. Places is currently
It's
in development.
Sklurk.com. It's
Please follow at Places on Twitter.
SKULRK. Sklurk. Is that available?
By the way, Places has been in development.
Dude, is Sklurk.com available?
I'm not going to find out.
Sklurk.com. All right, I'll just check it out on my LTE-powered iPad here.
First tweet, more to come, says at Places on October 27th, 2010.
Oh, my God.
But then it also says coming in 2012.
Sklurk.com.
We really need to
Dude,
look this up.
Sklurk.com. Available.
Shocking.
Now purchased. Now purchased by somebody listening to this. All right, and on that note, I think it's time to wrap up. By the way, if you create Sklurk.com,
Please sell something.
I've trademarked it. I'm trademarking it right now by speaking the words trademark. Consulting with my lawyer, trademark attorney Nilay Patel. Copyright and trademark attorney Nilay Patel. So if you buy Sklurk.com and create the Sklurk app, which I just invented, I will sue you till you are
Please do this hard work so I can sue you.
till you are dead. Or maybe we can go into a partnership together. A Sklurknership. On that note, I think it's time to wrap up.
It is.
That's been the Vergecast for this week. The horrible, miserable, worst Vergecast ever in history. Brought to you by Sony.
We did not have our moments.
We did what?
We did not have our moments.
We did not have our moments, no. Okay, so what was that? I don't know what that is. That's just me patting the microphone. No, I went like
No.
this. I don't know what that is. So that's the Vergecast this week. If you would like to get in touch with us, you can email us at podcast@theverge.com. You can leave a comment on the post when it goes up, or you can find us on Twitter. Verge is at Verge. The Verge is at Verge. I'm Joshua Topolsky. Nilay is Reckless. Paul is Future Paul. Ross Miller, who was here but is no longer here, who's at home watching Community, is Oh No Roscoe, no E on the end. And that's it. We'll be back next week with more of this, with more of these
Whatever this
shenanigans.
is.
A quick idea, actually, quick question for the group. Would you prefer that we did the Vergecast early in the day on Friday? That's a thought I want to run by you. Like a 1 o'clock show on Friday.
Yeah, I get down with that.
I mean, I know you might like it.
Yeah.
I'm asking the community, the Verge community.
Let me get some live reactions here.
Let's get some live
Yeah,
actions.
no, I like to
A lot
drink
of-
during the podcast.
a
A lot of
lot of
no's.
no's.
But you are people are creatures of habit.
They're all here right now.
Yeah.
What if I told you it was going to be...
There's a lot of people in a chat room a day from now saying yes.
it was going to be in
Tomorrow.
another universe.
No, a fast forward of this timeline.
Oh, like from Lost.
At 1 p.m.
And I don't have a beard.
At 1
And you
p.m.
do.
tomorrow, you don't have a beard, and people are in a chat room saying yes.
You have a beard, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah. And people are like, yeah, that's a great
It's
idea.
not alternate universes. Fast forward. I can't be an alcoholic in one day.
Is it a fast forward or a flash forward? And on that note,
I'm dying.
as always, I wish you and yours the very best.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Yep.
Paul.
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 Rock and Paul.